was something that was asked of us earlier this week. And so it was about potty training a puppy and if we have any tips and advice. The good news is we do. We have lots of tips and advice and little nuggets to help make you and your puppy potty training schedule go a little bit smoother. I'd like to start by saying I sympathize with you. Potty training a puppy is no joke. It's very frustrating. And thank God he made the puppy so dang cute because it can be very frustrating. So hopefully these little tips, careful. I need you to sit still so you don't fall. Okay. We'll talk about that later, okay? We'll see if we can find something to help them better. Be better. Okay, so potty training tips. First thing I want to talk about is crate training. Do we like our crates? Our dog crates, cages? Did we use them a lot when we first moved here?
I don't remember because I was like...
You were 3 years younger. How old were you? Little math exercise here.
I was 3.
You were 3. So yes, when we first moved here, even though our dogs were older, so Morgan was 6.5, 7, we still crated her when we first moved here because it's a new house, new location, new rhythm, new schedule. Let's not do that on Facebook Live. And so we absolutely crated our adult dogs. So I say that to say that it's absolutely okay and it's super important for your puppy's well-being to be crate trained. So what is crate training? We hear it a lot, but you may not exactly know what that means or what it entails. So crate training is simply crating your puppy when you can't supervise and in between play sessions, because just like babies need, what do babies do a lot of besides crying? And going potty. What do they do when you hold them when they're not crying?
Sometimes go to sleep.
Yes, babies sleep a lot, and so do puppies. But if babies are constantly woken up, they don't sleep. And if they're not put in a quiet room, if they're not in a quiet room, they're not going to fall asleep. They're going to keep getting woke up, or they're just never going to be able to fall asleep. Puppies, it's the same thing. So if they're always out, they might be napping on your lap, but as soon as something happens, they're awake. They're already awake. They're out of that REM cycle. There's no longer that steady rest. And so if they're in a crate in a separate room, covered, it's quiet, it's perfect for nap times, they're going to get that uninterrupted sleep that they need to grow. I mean, that's what sleep is for, right? When we sleep, what happens?
We grow. But sometimes when you grow, it kind of hurts your body when you grow.
Yeah, because you get growing pains in your legs, huh? You know why, though?
Because my legs are growing, but my other parts are like, you know what? I would just say until my legs.
That's right. Your legs are very long. You are very tall. So
I don't see that.
Puppies need that rest so that they can grow and that they can be healthy. Without proper rest, they are going to get stressed internally and physically. And so sleeping is super important. So when should your puppy be in the crate? How often should they sleep? So preferably you get a puppy at 8 weeks, but if you get a puppy at 6 weeks, this still applies. For every 20 to 30 minutes that your puppy is playing, they need to be in the crate for an hour to 2 hours resting. And that depends on your puppy's bladder capacity. So some puppies can sleep a solid 2 hours. Cool. Do not wake them up. Let them sleep. Other puppies might go an hour and then they get up and it's time to take them outside to go potty. So follow your puppy's rhythm. They're all different, just like us humans. We have to get to know their rhythm so that we can establish a proper potty training schedule. So crate training, anytime you can't watch your puppy, it's in the crate. And then anytime after that 20 to 30 minute play session, they are in their crate for nap time. And so next step is scheduled feeding times. Do not free feed a puppy. One, it's super hard to see how much food they've eaten throughout the day, but also it does not help you with potty training. Have a set feeding time, offer them that food for 5 or 10 minutes, and then pick it up. They will eat what they need to eat. If they don't eat, That's okay. They probably just aren't hungry. And just like kids, if you've ever lived with a toddler, you will know they'll go 2 or 3 days without hardly eating a thing. And then they'll go 3 days eating everything in the house like crazy. So puppies are the same. If your puppy doesn't eat, I mean, they're going to eat. But if they're just nibbling, that's okay. If your puppy's not eating, then contact your vet because your puppy might be sick. So they should definitely be nibbling. And then they will have a healthy appetite for a while, and then they'll probably go back to just grazing and nibbling. But you won't notice that as dramatically if you are free feeding all day. So the next tip is feed twice, 2 or 3 times a day, whatever you're feeding, but just leave that food down 5 to 10 minutes. And then pick up the water bowl at a certain time every night. So picking up that water bowl at 8 or 9 p.m., depending on when your family normally goes to bed, that might be 6 or 7. We're night owls, so I don't normally go to bed till 12 or 1 a.m., midnight or 1 a.m.
At 6.
She goes to bed between 6 and 7, so Thursdays are a little special for her to get to stay up super late.
I had school, I have to go.
Do you know the person we are making this video for lives in California, and she said it's going to be 3:30 her time. So it's only 3:30 p.m. That's what time you'd be getting home from school.
Oh, that's when she sleeps?
No, because she's in California. Remember at the library yesterday, we learned about time zones and how it could be 8 a.m. here and we're waking up, but it could be 8 p.m. somewhere else and they could be going to sleep. It's 3 o'clock at her house and it's 7:30 at our house. Anyway, sorry, tangent. So we were talking about picking up that water. I would recommend picking it up a couple hours before your bedtime. So if you normally go to bed at midnight, pick it up at 10. If you normally go to bed at 8, pick it up at 6. And that'll help your puppy's bladder hopefully last a little bit longer throughout the night. If your puppy has a medical illness and your vet advises you to leave the water out all the time, then do so. But for 99.9% of puppies, it's absolutely okay to pick up that water at a certain period at night. I'm not saying pick it up all day, just at night. So scheduled feedings and picking up that water help to do a couple things. Puppies, just like babies, have rhythms that their body does their business. So if you nursed a baby or you bottle fed a baby, you will know that at approximately X amount of minutes after that feeding, they're going to do their business. Puppies are the same way. So get out a little notepad, put it in your phone, use your notepad app in your phone, and write down exactly when you fed your puppy, if they ate at all. So say they ate a little bit, ate half of it, ate none, ate all, and then take them out 10 minutes later, take them out immediately. Learn your puppy's schedule. Some puppies will go out right after, like 1 minute after they're done eating. You just take them outside, they go potty. For other puppies, it might be 20 minutes after they're done eating before they actually do both pee and poo. So gotta let them do both. And so if you don't know your puppy's schedule, I would recommend taking them out immediately after they eat. If they do not go potty after 3 to 5 minutes of being outside, come back inside, put them in their crate for 5 or 10 minutes. Stay close, because if they get up and they start acting antsy or circling like they got to go potty, immediately take them back outside. But wait that 5 or 10 minutes, take them back outside, stay out there for another 5 minutes or so. If they don't do their business, back inside into their crate, and just repeat that process. In the crate for 5 to 10 minutes, outside for 5 minutes, back into the crate 5 or 10 minutes until your puppy finally goes. Once they finally go potty, then you can have a play session with them. And so you can play with them 20, 30 minutes. As soon as they're done playing, what do? Yes, we take them outside to go potty. And then once they're done, once they finally go potty, they go into their crate. If they don't go potty the first time, you take them outside after they're playing. You put them in their crate for 5 or 10 minutes, back outside for 5 minutes, back in their crate for 5 to 10 minutes, and then back outside until they finally go potty. Once they've done that pottying, into their crate for an hour or two for their nap. And this excuse me, this is how this pattern's going to repeat throughout the day. So after that, an hour or two of napping, what's the first thing you do when you take a puppy out of its crate? Feed it? Is that what you said? Nope, we go potty because it just ate, or it already ate its breakfast. So as soon as it's done napping, first thing, take it straight outside. I would recommend no talking to your puppy during this time. When you're opening that crate, just wait patiently. Try to wait for your puppy to calm down. When your puppy finally looks back at you like, are you ever going to open the door? That's when you want to open the door, when they're being calm and respectful. clip that leash to them, and immediately go to the front door. We don't even ask puppies to sit and wait at the door at this point. We just run them right outside to their potty patch and let them go potty. I say potty patch because we only let dogs potty in one part of our yard, but that's a whole nother topic. So after they go potty, they get playtime, and then back to go potty, and then back in their crate to rest for their nap time again. Repeat this all day until you feed them their lunch, and then play, nap, and then feed dinner, play, nap, however many times you want before actual bedtime. So that is the schedule that you need to create with your puppy. It's very flexible because puppies are different, just like humans are different. So to have that little log that I recommend having, a little notebook or the app in your phone, to just keep track of this for the first few days, that'll help you very quickly identify your puppy's rhythm. So after you feed them, like we know within the first 3 to 4 days, after a puppy eats here, when we need to take them out. So after they eat, we can just let them have free time for 20 minutes and then we take them out, or they eat, we immediately take them out, and then we have free time and playtime. So that'll help you catch your puppy's rhythm. Keep a leash on your puppy when your puppy's out of its crate, but in the house. So I'm not talking about just when you take your puppy outside to go potty. I'm talking about anytime your puppy's out of its crate in the house, have the leash on your puppy. Why? Well, if your puppy starts doing a potty dance, what do?
Take them aside because maybe they need to go potty, because when they do a potty dance, that usually means they have to go pee or poo.
That's right. So with the leash already on them, you just got to pick up the leash and run. You don't have to chase your puppy, find its collar, clip the leash to it. Your puppy's already pottied in the house. The other cool thing about having the leash on is if your puppy makes a bad choice, like chewing on a shoe.
Or chewing on kid toys instead of dog toys.
No! The leash is on the puppy, so you can immediately pick up that leash, have control of your puppy to remove that toy from them or that shoe, and replace it with a toy that they should be chewing on, to encourage them to show them which toys to chew on and which kid toys not to chew on. So the leash is very important in the training process. It's also a safety tool. So if your puppy's going to get into something dangerous, chewing on something that could be dangerous, an electrical cord, getting into cabinets. Some puppies are really smart and can get into cabinets. That will allow you to safely and quickly get a hold of that puppy and remove whatever it is that could be dangerous to them. The next check item I wanted to talk about was, okay, so the potty rhythm. So while your puppy's having playtime, when they're closer to that 8-week age, it's going to be very short, 20 to 30 minutes, and then into their crate for an hour or two. Obviously, as each week progresses, that playtime is going to get longer and that rest time is going to get shorter. Just like with babies turning into toddlers and toddlers turning into little kids who don't nap anymore.
And then little kids turning into big kids, and then big kids turning into grown-ups, and they're never going to be little kids again.
Why do kids grow up? And why do they grow so fast?
Because you gotta get our own kids.
You gotta get your own kids. We have plenty of time for that. Sit back and say, "Can I see you, silly?" So yes, puppies will start to have more playtime and less sleep time as they age. So again, watch your puppy. If you're trying to put them, after that 20 to 30 minutes, you try to put them in their crate and you see that they're fighting that nap time, then maybe have them play for 30 to 40 minutes and then put them in their crate. But if your puppy's playing for 40 minutes, I would still mid-play, so 15 minutes in or 20 minutes in, stop the play, take your puppy outside to do its business, and then back inside to play. If your puppy did not do its business, as you come back into play, watch your puppy like a hawk. There's always signs that your puppy has to go potty. Sometimes you'll see them spinning in a circle, sniffing the ground. That's them looking for that proper place to go potty. Other times it might be the way that they stand. Some dogs will have their tail pointed straight out, like, oh, it's coming. Or they might have that hunched over, gotta go poo stance. Again, if that leash is on your puppy, you can immediately run them outside before something bad happens in the house.
Also, someone who we know, their dog, when they sit, that usually means they have to go pee or poo.
Yes.
So we always want to take dogs out, maybe, because maybe when they sit, that means they have to go.
Mm-hmm. Some dogs are very quiet by the front door, and they'll just sit there, and so we know we need to take them outside to go potty.
Because they know, they're like, I'm waiting, so you gotta take me, because I need to go outside, I need to go potty, so you, like, when you know they're doing that, you have to go straightly out, because maybe if we wait too long, they're just going to come.
Yep.
So we have to go, like,
right away.
Because maybe you have to, you're in the garage door doing it, so you have to go right away so you can get it straight outside to there.
Straight outside. And that leads me to the next point of how does your puppy, how do you teach your puppy how to tell you when it needs to go outside? So we started by talking about 8-week puppies and mentioned that as they get older, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, we start to increase that play session but have a potty break in between, and then maybe a shorter nap time as they get older. But as your puppy gets a little bit older and it's starting to have more control at the front door or whatever door you use to go potty, then you can start having your puppy give you a potty cue. So we always have dogs sit before they go outside, so they'll wait and sit at the door. If you want to use the bells, this is when you can start taking your puppy's paw and having them touch the bells, or my preference is not to have the dog paw the bells because dogs will start scratching your door, and that can be pretty damaging to your property. We've had a lot of clients' dogs who have damaged their walls and doors.
Usually, sometimes if their claws are too sharp, it can make like a mark.
Scratches, yeah. We don't want that. What I recommend is having the puppy nose the bells. So, holding the bells out. So here's a profile. Can they see this, Alaska, on the camera? This is the bell. I want to hold it. Oops, you okay?
Yeah.
I want to hold it right in front of their nose. So the puppy just has to move to touch the bells. And then I'm going to praise it and go outside. And then as the puppy gets better and better about touching those bells, I'm going to hold it like a half an inch farther and make that puppy go for it. And then 2 inches farther and make that puppy go for it. And we're always going to encourage them to use their nose so that they can't get into the habit of pawing and scratching at your walls and doors.
If they try to do that, just get the leash and pull them back by saying, don't do that. Or like get the collar and, because you gotta do something. Otherwise it's telling them they can do it. You got.
Mm-hmm. It's teaching a bad habit, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Also, if they're too small to reach the doorbell, maybe just take them outside or help them get up.
Yeah, we gotta help them. And one other thing that you can do for a potty cue, and there's a whole bunch, but these are the most common ones that we see, is if you have a vocal breed. So some dogs are more vocal than others, where they will be more likely to bark. You can start to teach them a speak command, and then you can start to have them, instead of sitting before they go outside, or maybe they have to sit and speak before they go outside. Excuse me. And then that puppy will offer a bark when it needs to go potty. I say this because puppies, again, just like kids, have their own tells that they have to go potty. They all kind of offer it in different ways. So some dogs are never going to bark to tell you they have to go potty. Some dogs are never going to sit to tell you they have to go potty. Some dogs will come and sit in front of you instead of sitting at the door, and they'll follow you everywhere around, sitting, staring at you like, do you not see me? I need to do something. So learn your puppy's tells. Don't force something on your puppy. If it's not working after a couple weeks, then maybe try something else. And so you just got to keep testing it to see your puppy's tells. Some puppies just don't have a tell, and they'll never have a tell, and you just got to offer to take them outside every so often. That's how Morgan was. She's never had a tell. She doesn't really sit at the door. Sometimes, but very rarely, she'll sit and stare at us to tell us, but she also sits and stares at us for us to pet her. She also sits and stares at us for her to play with her. So it's not a very easy potty tell to know. So we just routinely offer to go outside every 3 to 4 hours. She's an adult dog, so as a puppy, you want to build up to that length of in-between pottying. But I hope these tips were helpful for you and your puppies. I hope that if you have questions, you post them in the comments. And if you have a different topic you would like us to talk about next week, you have a puppy question, you have an adult dog question, you have a problem behavior question, post it in the comments. We would love to talk about it next week. Did you have something to add? You were tapping patiently.
So if your dog is by another dog and has to go potty, you have to do this. You have to take away the dog because maybe that other dog might eat it.
Yeah.
So we want to keep away other dogs when one dog is going potty. That's why we let dogs free, so when we're having them hold, they might go together. So we want them to not pay attention so that they don't know that it's there, and so they won't try to eat it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's also good to have it in grass because it's most likely they can't see it. If it's on a road or something, they can see it.
They can see it. We have had some dogs that have come in for some training that have had some bad habits.
Like Miss Sabi's dog who eats her spill.
Not to name drop or anything, but yes, that is something that you can start preventing your puppy from doing by having the leash on when they go outside to go potty, so that you can distract them. You can pull that leash away and tell them no, 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 and teach them what they are allowed to do outside, which is to play and potty, but not eat things off the ground. That's not good. Not just poo, but they could eat other animal droppings, which then could get them sicknesses like giardia and stuff. So,
and maybe dead if they eat an animal.
Well, I don't think, so Morgan has an affinity for dead animals. She's gross. But yeah, it's just gross.
She also eats grass.
Yeah, she likes grass too. She's part manatee, so I feel like it's just natural for
grass. Eat grass.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope I answered the potty training questions that we had, and we will see you guys all again next week. Bye. See you later.
Bye.